How sweep it is. The Mariners finish off the 3-game sweep of the Chicago White Sox, taking this one dramatically. Never easy with the Mariners. 4-3 in 11 innings. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome into Seattle Mariners post-game recap. Mariners win, like I said, 4-3 today over the White Sox in 11 innings. They improved to 63 and 53 on the season. They're just a game and a half back in the American League West. Mariners are still in the second wild card, and they're actually 3 games up now on a playoff spot. As always, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe if you're new or lurking, and don't forget to leave your comments on the team and the game down below. Another day that goes pretty perfectly for the Mariners. Nobody else playing really around them that's in contention, so kind of a free half game to move up on everybody here in the playoff standings, and the Mariners take advantage of it. When you sweep a series, you had the game one, which was, dominant kind of blowout. And sorry if you can hear the Seahawks game in the background. Welcome back, football. Game two was an early blowout, but then turned into a little bit of a grind. And there's always one where you got to battle to get it done. And, I talked about it's the White Sox team that came in playing some pretty good baseball in the second half. And we saw it, right? Their lineup was feisty. They did not go down 1-2-3 very often. Pitching had some problems, but we saw some arms that are pretty live in the back end of their bullpen. And the Mariners found a way to sweep the White Sox, which is something the Rays couldn't do, the Phillies couldn't do. Mariners find a way to get it done. Some bad news, Josh Naylor does leave with the shoulder injury. Dan Wilson did say day to day. Sure, they're going to get some more imaging and stuff done with that. You need Josh Naylor in there. I mean, you can even just see with this lineup, it just shortens it so much if you take Naylor out of it. Obviously Luke Raley, hopefully back soon. If Naylor had to miss a couple weeks, Luke could take that role, and that's fine. Solano is not the answer, obviously. Dylan Moore's not the answer there. So the lineup's good enough, but you want Josh Naylor in there. So hopefully everything's okay. He'll probably be out tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked if he just misses the Rays series as a whole. Get him right, get him going, find a way to win the Rays series, get Josh Naylor back. Hopefully by the next road trip would be ideal for this team. In Dom Canzone, the hero today in the 11th inning. What's impressed me so much with Dom is his ability to hit left-handed pitching this year, something he just couldn't do in his career up until this year. Small sample size still, but his OBP is north of 350 against left-handed pitching, and he's just having quality at-bats. Is the power there? No, I don't think he's ever going to be 30 home runs and 15 from each side. But there's enough there left-handed that he's not someone that you just automatically have to pinch hit for. And we've seen that the Mariners have trusted him more in these situations, letting him have these at-bats. I think part of that has been Dylan Moore's struggle, but also trusting Dom more than they have trusted him in the past, which is really, really good to see. Not the offense's best day of this series, at all. Randy hits the home run early. I do think sometimes when a guy like Naylor leaves, it does kind of take the energy down a little bit. I can't imagine that didn't factor in. Credit to Shane Smith and the White Sox staff. They may have just shut the Mariners down a little bit today, but that's got to be a little bit of a momentum kill because Naylor's been so good since coming over. Homers, in both games of the series entering today. And the guys in the dugout know, obviously, they see Solano's in there. So it's got to be a little bit of emotional blow. So I'm not going to get in the offense too much for not having their best day today. And they still found a way to score 4 runs, right? Is that amazing? No. But again, in the past, we've had issues with this team scoring 0-1 in years past and losing these games 2-3-1 with nothing to show for it. They get a home run today. They get the run in the 10th inning to tie it, and then they get the winning run in the 11th. So they do just enough here to find a way to get it done offensively. So not their best day, but certainly not anything that I'm going to be super worried about. Pitching-wise, Logan Gilbert was really good for the 5 innings. A little bit too walk happy. Maybe you'd like to see less than 3 walks, but only the 2 hits. Just again, the problem it's kind of been for Logan this year is high pitch counts quickly, right? Mounting pitch counts. He threw 94 pitches in 5 innings. Logan's so close. He's so close to like 7 shutout innings, but it's either he gets those 4 quick innings and there's one really bad inning. Other than that, he's great, or just too many pitches piling up where he can't go deep into the game. And it did hurt the Mariners a little bit, right? Because you look at the game going 11 innings, Caleb Ferguson pitches 2/3, Vargas 2/3, Spire 2/3, Brash, Munoz, Pizarro, and Coar all pitch an inning in this game. So you definitely see we're not getting super deep into the game. Hurts them another inning or two, and you might have an extra arm for, tomorrow night's game against the Rays. Now you're going to be a little bit thin, but stuff wise, again, Logan looks great. He's looked great, I think, in almost every start this year, truthfully, from a stuff perspective. But this is, a step in the right direction. Didn't have the big inning. Didn't have, had a couple innings where runner got to second, nobody out, didn't let it affect him, and was able to wiggle out of it and throw the ball pretty well today overall. In terms of the standings here for the Mariners, I don't think you can be happier right now when you take in the whole package, right? Obviously, it'd be great to be 11 games up in first place, but they're not. They're a game and a half behind Houston, which is, I don't want to say nothing. It does matter, but I mean, Houston goes to New York. If the Yankees take care of business and the Mariners can beat the Rays, it's not out of the question the Mariners end this weekend in first place in the AL West. Will they do that? I don't know. I don't. I think Tampa's going to be a tough series for the Mariners, and with the Naylor injury and the bullpen maybe being a little bit, not sure what we're going to be able to have available tomorrow. It's going to be tough. But it's not out of the question at all. You're also 3 games clear of a playoff spot against 2 teams that you hold the tiebreaker against right now in Texas and Cleveland. So you're lined up very well here to certainly at the very least be in the postseason. And then even take that next step. You're only a game behind Boston for the first wild card if the AL West doesn't come to fruition. And that first wild card absolutely matters. And I think they're going to have the tiebreak over Boston too, based on division record, because then you get that wild card series at home. Now, I think the Mariners have played pretty much equal. I think, pitching wise, they're set up better at home, but offensive wise, set up better on the road. But you'd love to get those 3 games in T-Mobile. It would feel good to have them there if you don't win the division. So a lot of avenues here, very much open for the Seattle Mariners. And nice to see them finish off a series like that. It's been kind of their problem this year, right? If you've got a beef with this team, they've had some good series. Listen, they've had some duds too. The Angels, the Diamondbacks, the Yankees series. But they've also sometimes struggled to finish off series a little bit. We talked about that Houston series, not getting that third game. Talked about this all the time. That second Angels series where they lose to Hendricks in the final game. Minnesota winning the first 2, losing the next 2. Nice to see them take care of business and finish the series off. Because for a while there today, I didn't think they were going to get this one. Series win is really nice. Nothing wrong with that. If you win 2 out of every 3, you're going to be in great shape. But it's really, really good to see this team finish off a series and get a sweep against a team that you kind of needed to do it against. I talked about this in game 1 of the series. Again, it's a White Sox team that is not playing terrible baseball, but it is still a bad baseball team. And they've got, like I said earlier in the video, you saw some of the stuff they can do when Luis Roberts hitting. They're not, certainly not the worst team in baseball, right? They're a tier above Colorado, I think, despite the record maybe not being as much, that much better. And like I said, I think coming into the series, they had a better run differential than the Angels have. It's just that it's a team you need to sweep, just like the Angels are for the Mariners, right? If you want to, cap off this season, make things right, and maybe even win the American League West, you have to sweep a series like this. Now, Tampa Bay, do they need to sweep? No, you'd like to win it, but Tampa Bay's got talent. They've got Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz, and a really good pitching staff. So that's not one you're looking at as you have to sweep. You'd like to just win it, and then you can break even with the good teams, right? Then that Philly Mets road trip, if you go in 3-3, that's okay because you're taking care of business kind of on the back end here, essentially. Let's go ahead and get in the box score. I talked about Logan Gilbert, solid today, just needs to be a little more efficient, watch the walks, but I think a step in the right direction overall. Caleb Ferguson through 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits. Vargas also 2/3 of an inning, struck out Caro, but then gives up the home run to Michael A. Taylor, who just killed the Mariners in this series. Just, it happens. Again, you see where this team could have used maybe another arm. I'll say that until the season's over and we're hopefully celebrating a World Series title. But you definitely see it. Vargas just not a guy, right? Like he's here, he is a guy, but he's not the guy, essentially. He's just kind of your generic middle reliever. He's capable, but he's also capable of kind of doing what he did. I don't know why Dan just didn't go to Gabe Spire in that 7th inning. Spire pitches 2/3 and gets a strikeout. Maybe you have Spire available tomorrow, but he also pitched yesterday, so probably not. I don't know why he just didn't go to Spire for the 7th there. Why you're trying to get extra outs out of Vargas. I know lefty righty, but at this point you just trust Spire more than you do Vargas. Brash with a shutout inning, gave up a couple hits there, both bloopers, but found a way to wiggle out of a jam with a couple strikeouts. Munoz was solid in the 9th inning. Good to see, no drama there. Bizzardo, I thought, threw the ball pretty well in that 10th inning. I thought that ball hit the knob of the bat of Meade, but they said hit by pitch. It was called hit by pitch. I get why it stood. And I know it was a wild pitch that allowed to run to score. I thought that was closer to a pass ball by Garver. But Bizzardo, I thought threw the ball well after a tough outing yesterday. Good to see him bounce back. And then Jackson Coar did a real nice job in the 11th. You're running out of arms there. Good to see Dan try Coar over Legumina. Legumina's, I think, been a little bit above Coar in the depth chart, essentially, for who to go to, but he struggled. See if Coar can do it. When you're down to Coar or Legumina, give Coar a chance and see if he can get it done. And he delivered a shutout inning there, I think, against the top of the order for the White Sox, and did a nice job there. So, and then the extra innings, obviously, the White Sox get their run on sort of a, I think it was a walk, a hit by pitch, and then a passed ball, wild pitch. So they get kind of a run in the 10th, but the Mariners answer back with their own run in the bottom of the 10th. Mastrobuoni gets a nice bunt down. Josh Rojas throws it away. That allowed Randy to score, and they tie it from there. And fortunately, they couldn't get that run in the bottom of the 10th. You'd like to see Julio, Gino, or Dylan Moore had an awful at bat come through, but they do get it done still in the 11th. Let's look at the box score. Randy 1 for 5 with the home run, 2-run shot, 2 runs scored. It was his 23rd of the year. Did he have an at bat in extra innings? Had to have, right? Maybe not. No, yeah, he was the automatic runner. So yeah, he didn't. What did he do in the 10th though? Because no, he was the runner in the 10th. He was runner in the 10th. I don't think he had an extra inning at bat. I think he was on deck. Or, oh my gosh, can I read a box score today? He would have been in the hole after Dom Canzone walked it off. But 1 for 5 day for Randy. Cal DH was 0 for 3 with a walk. Didn't have a problem with Dan having Mastrobuoni run there. I know there was some interesting stuff late, and you had Dylan Moore and Mastrobuoni all in the game, but that's fine. Better base runner. You're trying to win the game. Julio was 1 for 5 in this one. I think his base hit was in the 8th. It was in the bottom of the 8th. It doesn't matter. I guess Julio 1 for 5. Naylor 0 for 2, left with the injury. Hopefully back in there. I wouldn't be shocked if he takes the Tampa series off. Solano was 0 for 1. Cole Young pinched hit and bunted in the 9th inning. Let me pull up the play-by-play here, because I know it's going to get talked about a little bit. So let's pull that up. It was in I want to say it was the bottom of the 9th, right? Or was it the bottom of the 8th that they did that? It was the bottom of the 8th. So, okay, Cal walked, Julio single. That's right. It was in the 8th. Cole Young hit for Solano, bunted. Don't have a problem with it, right? It's fine. You're essentially at that point, you feel like you're playing for the winning run with Munoz up. You feel like one does it. It's not a walk-off, but in a way it kind of is in the bottom of the 8th. You feel good if you can get one, you're going to win that baseball game. Gino strikes out, and then Taylor walks Polanco, and Garver strikes out in that situation. Listen, I'm going to sound plain neutral here, but I'm fine either way. If you want to let Cole Young take that at bat and swing away, I have no problem with it. You play for the bunt. It's Grant Taylor, right? Let's make sure I said it right. Yeah, I think it's Grant Taylor. Let me just make sure. Yeah, the pitching prospect, the reliever for the White Sox. Dominant stuff. Top prospect, can get a lot of strikeouts. You run a risk of having a Eugenio Suarez. We love Gino. He's got to get going a little bit. We love him. Strikes out a lot. It's a risky proposition, right? Like to have a big strikeout pitcher against a pretty big strikeout hitter. He's cut down, I think, on the strikeouts Gino has this year, but it's still risky. It's the risky take with the bunt. I don't mind it, but maybe let Cole Young swing away there. He's been swinging the bat well. Maybe he comes up and gets something done there and you win the game. Maybe if you don't, he grounds into a double play and you're screwed, and you should have bunted him over where a sac fly would have gotten it done. Both make sense. I would actually be willing to say the win probability, someone can bring it up in the chat. I don't think it changes too much there. I think you're like 49% or something to score with the runner at second there, and 51 with second and third. So, I don't think there's a ton difference. You do have to kind of play who you have coming up there. Gino, a strikeout guy, it's risky. It didn't pay off for the Mariners. Again, don't have a problem with it. But I also think sometimes both sides of those arguments go both ways. There's the bunting is stupid crowd. I don't think that's true. I think there are some bunts that are a little bit I don't get. I don't think bunting's dumb there. But for also all the, why don't we bunt more? Well, that can happen. You have a guy come up and then he strikes out and you get it. Now, you could also say Gino needs to do his job there and get the run in. So it all goes around, right? Everybody can deserve a little bit of blame in those situations. Let's go back to the box score. So Cal was 0 for 3 with a walk. Mastrobuoni had the nice bunt in the 10th inning, which scored Randy. Julio was 1 for 5. I said that. Naylor 0 for 2. Solano 0 for 1. Dylan Moore 0 for 1. Oh, how do you watch that 3-2 pitch in the 10th inning? You gotta swing the bat there, man. Dylan has no confidence right now. He's broken. I mean, it looks like a broken baseball player, because that take right there was just, I have no confidence in myself right now. And maybe this is outside. The pitch is outside. I mean, I mean, Dylan Moore's still a good base runner. The lineup's good enough where I'm not super worried about Dylan Moore being on the roster right now. But when you do get into these tight games, when you have to have Master Boney run and, Naylor unfortunately gets hurt, that played a role in this. And then Dylan Moore's at first base. It becomes tough. It becomes a little bit tough there. Gino 0 for 5. Time to get going, Gino. Time to get going. It's been fine. Mariners, good homestand. Gino's got to get going. Polanco 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Good day. Garver was 1 for 4 with a walk. Overmatched in that strikeout against Taylor. He was not going to have a chance there. I'm going to credit my friend Mariner Sir on this. I don't really get why Garver batted 7th, Canzone 8th, JP 9th. And you saw it kind of force their hand a little bit too. Teams are able to go to lefties to get through that Canzone Crawford pocket if they can. I feel like Canzone should have been 7th, Garver 8th, JP 9th. Might have helped them a little bit there. So Garver on base twice, but he had what I thought should have been a pass ball. So not a great day for Garver despite reaching twice. Canzone 1 for 5, a big one. It was the game winner. It was a little bit of a BABIP single. I call out other teams when they do those and say it's annoying, and the Mariners sneak one through on the right side for a base hit to win it. So, but when good things happen to us, we take it, right? It's fine. we don't complain. And JP was 1 for 3 with a hit and a walk as well. Mariners finish up a 6-1 homestand. Very nice. Very good homestand for the boys. Season high, 10 games over 500. The homestand's not over. They still have 3 against Tampa tomorrow. Ichiro Hall of Fame induction weekend. Geesh, Jay, where's your head at, man? So still 3 more on this homestand, but a 6-1 homestand so far. So very successful here. Hope you can take 2 out of 3 against the Rays. I think tomorrow's going to be a difficult one. It would definitely feel like if you win it, you kind of stole it. You do have Castillo going at home, capable of going 6-7 innings, and then maybe you can turn it over to Brash. Should be good to go. And, maybe Caleb Ferguson, you can still win that game. And the Rays offense, unless I've missed it, has always been kind of middling, a little bit. So it's an offense maybe Castillo can shut down. So still have a good chance. We'll see. But just without Naylor and the bullpen being taxed makes me, a little nervous. But that's okay. That's why you want to sweep this series. It helps a lot. Mariners could be a half game back in first place after tomorrow. We'll see. Sky's the limit right now. Good times. Baseball's been good. It's been fun to watch. Even games like this where, you don't feel like they're going to win the game, they still find a way, to get it done. So really, really impressive to see for the boys. We're here, man. It's a stretch run, 46 games to go. This is it. We are getting down to, we're not halfway through August, but we're into August now. We are solely into it. We're coming close. It's go time. Let's enjoy it. Have some fun with it. Let's see if we can get this team in the playoffs. And boy, this is my 3rd year doing post-game recaps. I'd love to be able to do some post-game live streams and stuff for the playoffs. And we'll have a blast, man. If this team gets in the playoffs, it'll really be a lot of fun on this channel. We'll hang out and shoot the you-know-what and just have a great time. So hopefully they get there, just for us. We deserve it. So take care, everybody. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, go Mariners. Peace.